My topic today is the power of youth and how we do storytelling. The power of youth is engaging and empowering youth. Values such as self-help and mutual help, as much as literacy, are needed to fortify youth to succeed in an ever volatile world. In today's fast-paced and fast-changing world, there is a need to foster a stronger and more resilient generation to deal with these complex changes. SNCF believes that character building, character development is certainly vital to nurturing a more compassionate and resilient community. The cooperative principles bring core values to character building. But how do we really reach out to youth? We need to be part of their world to understand how they think and what makes them tick, and then how to influence them. We do these through stories, different ways of telling them to different target groups of youth. So who are these youth? The UN classifies them broadly as those 35 years and below. How many of you are 35 years and below? Wow, great, okay. But SNCF defines our youth market as follows. Number one, students in secondary schools, junior colleges, ITEs, tertiary institutions, and number two, parents of young children. So you'll find that all our activities is targeted at these two groups of people. Then we identify the influencers. Now, who are these influencers? We will have to work through them. And they are parents of 12 to 18-year-olds where they have a strong influence. Those of you who are parents, you know what it is like, right? You influence your children, what course to take, what friends to make, and so we target the parents of 12 to 18-year-olds, principals and teachers of secondary schools, JCs and ITEs, head of departments and faculties of tertiary institutions for social enterprise business studies, teachers of 3 to 6-year-olds, and very importantly, one of our influencer group are the preschool children. They are great influencers because when these children get their parents to do things for them, they can get their parents to do things for them, although parents have no time, no money, no appetite. Okay. Next, we categorize these influencers into, as it is very important that we customize programs for each of the target group so that we can ensure different kinds of needs are being met, okay? And a customer-oriented approach for the secondary schools and junior colleges, they are quite different from the tertiary institutions because they are older. Next, we look at who our partners should be, right? We identify our partnerships because they are very crucial in strengthening areas where cooperation and collaboration drive greater returns. And there are three main partners of ours. Number one, the government. We try to align ourselves with the government's direction as we believe we could possibly get some support given that we have similar experiences, similar objectives. In Singapore, we partner the Ministry of Education as our focus are the schools. Second, we partner the Ministry of Social and Family Development for funding of school programs. And third, the Ministry of Culture, Community and Youth, where the registry, the regulator, reports into. Secondly, our second partner group is the youth organizations. And lastly, the youth-focused organizations. So I'm going to be sharing with you some of our activities, programs, which are planned accordingly. The first group would be the youth students in secondary schools, JCs, and ITEs. There are 5 main activities where we engage and empower our youths to reach out to other youths, all right? And we do that through awareness talks in schools, right? There are about 200 secondary and junior colleges in Singapore. So we get our youth to participate and conduct awareness talks in schools. We participate in scholarship and career fairs. And then we run what we call the YSEP and SCI, which means Youth Social Enterprise Program, the Singapore COOP Inc., right? And you could see that there's a little booklet here. Those of you who are interested, you can come and see me later on, but this is a program that we work together with a commercial firm to put it together. So we run that, and what does this program do? It teaches beyond entrepreneurship. It includes social awareness and co-op principles. The students are also introduced to successful co-ops. So the apex body, SNCF, does not do everything ourselves. We involve our members, all right, our affiliates, and you can see the group of them sitting there. They are all there to support me. So we involve them because we bring the school children to visit their cooperatives, and they do internships at the cooperatives as well to give the students real life experience in working in cooperatives. We do the nationwide competition. We don't try to create our own competition because it's very difficult to create from scratch. We believe that we should just write on national-wide competition. We convince the organizers to include social enterprise and cooperatives as an angle. And we have been fairly successful. So we have the National Entrepreneurship and Social Enterprise Competition. It's called ICE Challenge. We also have school children. They have a national debate. And we were able to get the organizers to include topics on cooperatives and social enterprise. The third, we had a collaboration with Kasuma, which is a competition for young entrepreneur skills for elementary, secondary, and junior colleges. Now, SNCF offers scholarships for university studies, and this is an opportunity for us to connect with students in the JCs and polytechnics through their faculties, teachers, and schools' career and scholarship fairs, and an online scholarship portal which reaches out to all aspiring scholars. SNCF scholars are also given opportunities to develop their talents, leadership skills, and opportunities to do good and to have great fun. It's not all about studies. You need to let them enjoy what they're doing. Examples of these are hosting VIPs, hosting events, planning and running learning camps for secondary school students. We try to develop students' leaderships, the talents. So during Singapore's International Year of Cooperative event, where about 15,000 cooperators, families, and preschool children from First Campus Cooperative participated, our SNCF scholar penned the lyrics of the Coopolicious song. In another instance, another scholar ran SNCF's Hot Shots competition, where it garnered more than 17 online hits from a baseline of less than 300 within 3 months. Other focus activities geared to youth interests are Kupao, and that's a comics and manga design competition. And we have another one, which is the Campus Animation Video Series. It's introducing the concept of cooperatives in schools. It's an autoplay in TVs installed at school premises. Now, the second category that we reach out is the youth students in tertiary institutions. And these are through business plan competitions and including cooperative studies in the curriculum. I don't know about your country, but in Singapore, many of our higher institutions of learning does not include cooperatives in their studies. They may talk a little bit about social enterprise, but there's no cooperative studies. If you look at booklets, the books, reference books, they're also not in there. So we have gone into higher learnings and we convinced them that it is important, and we were able to do that. So they include cooperative studies now in the universities and the polytechnics. We also get students to set up cooperatives and to form cooperative interest groups. We work with tertiary institutions to run competition for secondary schools. Next, we reach out to the parents of young children through their 3 to 6-year-olds. You know, the little ones who can make their parents do everything that you and I can't do. So we reach out to them, and SNCF produced a series of 4 children's storybooks teaching cooperative principles and values targeted at 3 to 6-year-olds. When you're at 3 to 6 years old, you're not able to read by themselves. So initially, they need their teachers, parents, childminders to read to them. Through this process, the readers learned about cooperatives when reading to these young children. And these books have been translated to Hangul and Mandarin. iCoop Korea has developed puppet shows from these stories and brought these shows to public areas. In Singapore, these stories have been used to develop dramas, musicals, and having children write their own stories based on the values that they have learned. All libraries of the National Library Board in Singapore carry these books. So do the libraries in Rochdale, the birthplace of cooperatives. These storybooks are used in the curriculum of more than 250 preschools in Singapore. By this year end, all preschools in Singapore will each have a set of 4 of the bilingual books in English and Mandarin. During Coopolicious, a Singapore IYC event, where families, friends, cooperatives came together to create a nationwide awareness of the cooperative movement, about 6,000 preschool children from the NTUC First Campus Cooperative, the largest preschool operator in Singapore, and their parents, children from SASCO Cooperative Preschools, children from the Public Libraries Reading Program came together to celebrate the largest fathers reading to their children initiative, breaking the Singapore Book of Records on the most number of children and fathers reading together. And in this modern age of emails, SMS, Facebook, many students and parents alike are rather foreign to the world of stamps on snail mails. SNCF worked with the First Campus Cooperative to have their little children pen down, draw what they have learned from the storybooks, stick cooperative postage stamps, and send them to SNCF. We received 1,700 most beautiful postcards where young children expressed their thoughts on cooperatives and Coopolicious. Define your youth focus groups. Identify the influencers. Then align your programs with the directions of your government. You may get some support. Next, customize your programs to meet the needs of each focus groups. It's important that you work with partners. You can't do it all yourself. So we all need to cooperate. Empower your youth to run the programs. don't do everything yourself. They've got more energy, they know how the target group thinks, what makes them tick. We are just there to be their guide and mentor. So in conclusion, the power of youth is engaging and empowering youth. You can log on to our website where you'll find more information. Thank you.